Hi, welcome back to Mr. Ant's World of Prince, and today I'm looking at the Gold Experience era. What can you say about the Gold Experience era that hasn't already been said? Next to Diamonds and Pearls, this is without doubt my favourite period in Prince's illustrious career. This is the Gold Experience era. Welcome to the dawn.
Hello, welcome to the dawn. Playground for the new power generation. There are over 500 experiences to choose from. Here's a sample.
In 1993, Prince changed his name to the now famous unpronounceable symbol known the world over. At the time, many people in the media and music industry, including some fans and most of the general public, thought he'd lost his marbles. The fight with his record company Warner's was growing and becoming more public, and the period seemed to be chaotic from the outside looking in. At one point, Prince even put out a statement of his retirement from studio recording, of how he was now to focus on live theatre, interactive media, nightclubs and films. And all of this coming off the back of a truly great period with Diamonds and Pearls, an incredible tour of 1992, and then the very successful Act 1 and Act 2 World Tour in 1993, which included Prince finally gracing the Twin Towers of Wembley Stadium in London. So this statement certainly sent shockwaves through the industry, but as many long-term Prince diehards will tell you, not everything is always as it seems. In fact, Prince had hit another incredibly creative peak artistically, and it's arguable that the period between 1993 up to Emancipation in 1996 could rival the peak he had in the mid-1980s. An incredible amount of music was created in that time, including the unreleased Undertaker CD, the Come and Gold Experience albums, Exodus by the New Power Generation, the Beautiful Experience EP, Chaos and Disorder, Emancipation. Even the New Power Generation's debut album, Gold Digger, was also released in '93. But most of the tracks were recorded in '92, so it's down to personal opinion whether you include it in this period. Also 1-800 New Funk, an album which was a compilation of MPG artists, was released in this period, but again some of the tracks were older, so it's personal opinion again. All of these projects had an incredible amount of material that was left off the final product, some of which did find a home on 1998's Crystal Ball project, and who knows how much is still unheard. What is clear is that fueled by his confinement of his recording contract and desire to own his own work, Prince had fire in his belly, and thus created some of his most stunning work in a truly defining period, not just for Prince, but the whole industry. 1994 was an incredible year for UK Prince fans. In April, Prince had his only #1 UK single, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. He released the Beautiful Experience EP and opened the New Power Generation store in Camden, London. Not bad for someone who was retired. What satisfaction for Prince, who had been told he didn't have a hit record left in him, to then land his first UK #1 single. This proved to Prince he could operate outside the system and be successful. The Most Beautiful Girl in the World was released on MPG Records and Edel Music, and was independently distributed by Belmont Records, with permission by Warner's. You have to wonder if Warner's gave Prince permission to release The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, thinking it would fail and put Prince back in his place. Because once it became a huge hit, they refused to let Prince follow it up with the amazing Love Sign with Nona Gay. Promos of Love Sign were being played on UK radio, and after the success of The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, it's a good bet the track would have been a hit. The love sign once and forever. So The Most Beautiful Girl in the World was a massive hit, and Prince obviously thought a lot of this track, as he made so many versions of it, including 6 on the Beautiful Experience EP, Maite recording the Most Beautiful Boy in the World, and a new, more live-sounding version on the Gold Experience album, and also using part of the song in another track called Tomorrow, which was eventually released on Crystal Ball. There was also talk of Prince recording the track in multiple languages using local artists. So Prince hits number 1 in the UK, and to mark this occasion, Prince appears on Top of the Pops via a live recorded video for the first time. However, Prince being Prince, chose to perform the Mustang mix of the track from the Beautiful Experience EP instead of the release single. This was brilliant and frustrating at the same time. The performance, albeit looking like it was shot in front of some kind of NASA Space Museum setup, was fantastic, and the Mustang mix is just superb. However, Prince had this one opportunity where he was going to be on millions of TV screens across the UK, and had he sent over the official video or performed the release single, one can't help but think it would have given him longer than the 1 week he had at number 1. As I mentioned earlier, Prince also opened his new Power Generation store in Camden, London, the same month, and I was lucky enough to go on the opening day. I adored this shop and frequented it many times in the 2 years it was open. It helped that sometimes I was working down the road from the shop, so I would pop in for some extra long lunch hours. I would spend ages talking to the manageress, who told me many fun stories about Prince, including how he once turned up at the shop, asked how much money they had taken in the till, and then took it all. She told me stories how whenever he was in London he would call her in the middle of the night asking what good clubs to go to. I was lucky enough to buy a lot of merchandise from the shop, including mugs, CDs, t-shirts, cymbal pins, and my tambaraka, which sadly broke some years later. The shop was on 3 levels, with the basement having a famous time capsule buried in the floor, which contained unreleased songs by Prince amongst other items. I always wanted to know what happened to the capsule after the shop closed its doors for the last time. Did any of the music ever see the light of day after, or is the time capsule still all together and sealed somewhere at Paisley Park? The downstairs also had all the candles and incense sticks and bath oils, perfumes, etc., and it smelt heavenly. You would imagine that this is what Prince's home must have smelt like. The first floor had most of the merchandise, and upstairs was a coffee shop. I went back to visit the site of the shop 2 years ago and made a video about what it had become. It was very sad to see that it was now just a chicken restaurant. Did any of these people who were just sitting outside, eating, have any idea that pop royalty once came here?
There it is, the remains of Prince's shop. Now a chicken restaurant. You can just see Prince and Maite standing in now. Amazing. And that used to be a gallery, it's now a Costa.
Hat, weiß eigentlich niemand so recht, wie man ihn nun eigentlich ansprechen soll. Mr. Symbol vielleicht? Jedenfalls für seinen ersten europäischen Laden hat sich das winzige Genie 3 weltbekannte Worte ausgedacht. New Power Generation. Und dazu noch eine sehr besondere Lage, nämlich den Londoner Stadtteil Camden Market, wo sich jedes Wochenende mindestens 500.000 Einheimische und Touristen treffen. Und alle sind sie im Kaufrausch. Tja, und hier in der Shop vom Road bekommen Sie ab jetzt den ersten Geschmack des exklusiven Prince-Warensortiments. Ich würde sagen, wir schauen am besten mal rein.
Ein Symbol geht um die Welt. Nachdem Prince mit neuer Single und Spitzenposition in den europäischen Charts derzeit einen seiner größten Erfolge feiert, gibt's jetzt auch für seine Fans Grund zur Freude. Im exklusiven Supermarkt des Megastars werden Träume wahr.
Vor genau einem Jahr eröffnete Prince sein erstes New Power Generation Geschäft in seiner Heimatstadt Minneapolis. Und dort gab es Dinge, die es bisher nirgendwo auf der Welt gab. Exklusive Prince-T-Shirts, Tourjacken, Poster, Schlüsselanhänger und sonstige Memorabilia. Und das Beste war aber, dass nämlich in dem Laden Videos von Prince liefen, die bisher unveröffentlicht waren. Und das neue Geschäft in Camden hat all das, aber auf den über 2 Etagen befinden sich außerdem noch ein Café und sämtliche ätherische Öle, Kerzen, Glaswaren, Prince-bezogene Schmuckstücke und selbst Möbel.
Möbelstücke und Musik, Nippes und Nelkenwasser. Das neue Mekka für die Fans bietet sogar Andenken aus Mr. Simbals Privatbesitz. So sind viele Prince-Artikel nicht nur limitiert. Die meisten gibt es sonst nirgendwo zu kaufen.
Unglücklicherweise hatten die Fans, die erst am zweiten Tag kamen, Pech. Denn die am Samstag angereist waren, hatten den Laden total leer gekauft. So mussten wir über Nacht eine Sonderbestellung aufgeben. Was soll ich sagen? Der Mann ist die Nummer 1.
What else would you like me to say? The man's number 1.
Trostpflaster für alle, die leer ausgingen. Auf des kleinen Genies neuesten Clip musste niemand verzichten. Ebenso wenig wie auf zahlreiche bisher unveröffentlichte Prince-Videos. Zu bewundern gibt's diese und noch viel mehr im Café des New Power Generation Shops.
Oben im Café haben wir außerdem noch das Kostüm aus Purple Rain. Wir sind überglücklich, das zu besitzen.
Been absolutely ecstatic about having that in the store.
Raritäten und exklusive Kleidungsstücke finden sich aufgereiht neben Souvenirs aller Art. Und wehe dem, der der Versuchung erliegt, etwas an den Sicherheitsleuten vorbeizuschmuggeln. Zum Beispiel Prince' gelbe Wolkengitarre.
Wir sorgen für die Sicherheit so gut wir können. Aber wir erlauben trotzdem den Fans, auch Fans zu sein.
New Power Generation am Londoner Camden Market. Wer hier dem Kaufrausch verfällt, hat garantiert nicht selber Schuld.
Ja, also Prince-Fans, das nächste Mal, dass ihr in London seid, nichts wie hin zu Chalk Farm Road zum New Power.
In December 1994, over the Christmas period, Channel 4 in the UK aired The Beautiful Experience. This was a huge event for me, and I must have watched it thousands of times. The Beautiful Experience was a TV movie made up of live performances from Paisley Park and videos of tracks from the Come album. All the live performances were shot in February of '94 at a concert at Paisley Park. Nona Gay stars as a lonely woman at home looking for a date and finds the Beautiful Experience programme on her PC, so logs on and begins to chat with the MPG operator. During the film, her confidence is lifted and she begins to believe she can be the most beautiful girl in the world. What is interesting about the segments with Nona Gay at her PC is that it is showing a paid streaming site for music and live performance long before they existed. Let's talk about the live music. Wow. Just wow. Prince and the now slimmed down MPG of Sonny T, Michael B, Mr Hayes and Tommy Barbarella with Maite dancing deliver some blistering versions of all new tracks, some of which would end up on the Gold Experience album. This was my first taste of these songs, like Now and Days of Wild, Acknowledge Me, and Prince's version of Shush. That was a real moment, as I'd been listening to Tevin Campbell's version for a year after buying his second album because of Prince's involvement on it. So when Michael B does that drum intro and then it goes into Shush, I was beside myself. I couldn't believe how different the track was, and Prince just owned it.
Break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sounds. This love is.
It's very difficult to go back to Tevin's version after that, even though it's the MPG and Prince on it. Once you've experienced that raw live version, there is no comparison. Watching these live performances was for me the birth of this new MPG, an incredible, tight, funky unit, playing some outstanding music, and it was so damn cool. With Prince now sporting a yellow cymbal guitar and a new hairstyle and beard, he looked amazing, and the music matched. As we move into 1995, the battle between Prince and Warner's intensified. In defiance at not being able to release as much music as he wanted and when he wanted, he started to write Slave on his cheek. Prince refused to make any new music for Warner's and would fulfill his contract by releasing albums from the vault. Part of this decision came about from Prince wanting to release the Gold Experience at the same time as the Come album and let them compete against each other. As a result of this dispute in early 1995, the Gold Experience had a release date of never. Prince did, however, manage to release a second New Power Generation album, Exodus, on his MPG label and again through Edel Music. So not to violate his Warner's contract, Prince called himself Tora Tora on the record, a Japanese war cry, and would appear with a scarf covering his face for all performances and appearances to promote the album. In March 1995, Prince took all this new music on the road to promote it on the Ultimate Live Experience tour. Again, it was a great time in the UK as Prince announced 17 dates across the country, including 5 shows at Wembley Arena, 2 of which I attended. Prince used the tour to promote the Exodus album, which had just been released in Europe only. He appeared again on Top of the Pops, this time in a live performance to perform the first single, Get Wild.
Get wild! Get wild! Get wild!
Prince also famously appeared on BBC Two's The Sunday Show the morning after the gig I attended at Wembley on March 4th. He performed Billy Jack Bitch and gave that famous sort of interview.
Katie, I'm at Wembley with the New Power Generation performing live and exclusive for The Sunday Show.
Billy Jack Bitch. Billy Jack, Billy Jack Bitch.
It's the first time he's ever blabbed to a television show.
Is it the first time, Katie?
The first time. In fact, I'm
Missed
just
that.
going to stress that again. And the thing was, he did speak to us, sort of. And, well, here's what Veronica did with him. Let's look.
I'm here with the New Power Generation, and the artist formerly known as Prince is a member of the band. He's agreed to his first television interview in over a decade, but is refusing to answer any questions. Now, what's the reason to give an interview and not speak? And don't tell me you lost your voice, because I heard you singing 5 minutes ago.
tonight.
But couldn't you, like, sing your answers? I mean, I just don't understand why you won't speak. Because it's like that, and that's the way it is?
It was so exciting for me to be able to see the venue, stage and even Prince performing on TV the very next morning. I could even see my seat. As I've said before, this was pre-social media and the internet was still evolving, so there was no way to see a gig you had attended like you can today. Prince also appeared on Channel 4's The White Room, again in Tora Tora guise to perform tracks from Exodus, including Count the Days and Get Wild. The Ultimate Live Tour was a real experiment by Prince. Only one Prince hit song was played, being Seven. All the other tracks were from Gold Experience and Come and Exodus. For hardcore fans that knew the music, it was an exceptional show. For the general public, it was a disaster. Many people were upset and felt shortchanged that Prince didn't play any of his best-known songs. Word spread, and by the time I attended my second show in late March, Wembley Arena was just over half full. A shocking experience, considering 2 years earlier I'd been at a sold-out Wembley Stadium and Wembley Arena on the Act 2 tour. The stage setup for the show was meant to represent male and female genitalia, with Prince appearing from inside the womb riding a travelator to the front of the stage. This stage setup first appeared on The Undertaker live video, which was shot in 1993. Although not popular with the general public, for the rest of us, the shows were amazing. Adverts for the Gold Experience were shown on video screens before the show and were met with large boos when the release date of Never appeared. The video for 18 and over was also shown, and the concert started with the edited version of the Purple Medley played on large screens before Prince appeared and opened proceedings with a blistering endorphin machine. Shush was incredible, and to see it played live by the MPG that recorded it was amazing, especially Michael B's drums. Prince and Maite also performed some ridiculous dancing together, getting so entwined that they almost become one person. The show closed with the anthemic Gold, and just before the guitar solo burst into life, gold ticker tape came falling down from the ceiling over the front of the crowd. Just amazing. After these shows, Prince fell away from the public consciousness, especially in the UK. For me, it was actually really cool, as I felt like part of this secret club who knew about this incredible band doing all this amazing music and nobody else knew about it. Prince and the stripped down MPG were on fire, and I was so fortunate to be part of it. Later on in 1995, Prince recorded the Love for One Another special for VH1, which was similar to the Beautiful Experience, including live performances, videos and a very loose story of a girl who has come to Paisley Park to convince Prince she's his soulmate.
Wild and often dangerous enthusiasm. The best you can be is my friend.
I don't need another fan. Is there any way to talk to your soulmate?
You're my soulmate?
Yes.
Says who?
My heart.
Come up to the stage, I'll show you my soulmate. Should be dressed in gold.
The video for the Gold single was filmed for this special, and also a live version of The Ride that was performed made it onto the Crystal Ball album in 1998. The Gold Experience album was finally released in September 1995, and considering all the confusion over his name change and battle with Warner's, the album did well, charting at number 4 in the UK album chart and number 6 in the US Billboard chart. It was certified gold in both the UK and US and sold around 900,000 copies worldwide. Eventually Prince gained his emancipation in 1996 from Warner's, having put it all on the line for the right for total artistic freedom and to own his work going forward, paving the way for future generations to have a fair deal and not to be a slave to the recording companies. The effects of those years and what Prince started and fought for right up to his passing is only just starting to be felt, with many artists now wanting control of their work and legacies. The Gold Experience era was a truly groundbreaking time and experiment by Prince. He left Prince behind and began this new era with a new name, look and style, and most importantly, new amazing music that was unlike anything he had done before. I'm so grateful I was able to be witness and be part of not only one of the most exciting times in Prince's career, but the most important. We were witnessing history and we were all on board for the ride. You are now an official member of the new power generation. Welcome to the dawn.
I want to thank